Hello anyone who's watching this video. This is some sniper gameplay for Space Marine 2, and I'm going to be taking the heroic power Gladius here. I have enough credits, so I want to just unlock the next weapon. If you can see from this screen, I got 3 weapons left, and there should be a new batch coming soon, I believe on the 26th. So since I'm using the sniper and he only has access to the dagger or the combat knife, I unlocked the combat the new heroic knife. And in my last video, if you caught it, you might hear me go on a little bit of a rant on how I'm not the best sniper in the world. I did unlock the heroic sniper. It's not my bag. For me, the zoomed in sights through the scope, when you scope in on a weapon, it's just a little bit too much for me, and I have trouble staying on target. But the stalker bolt rifle, has good headshot damage, 18 round clip. It's much more in my speed, and you do not have to scope in. It is an option, but it's still pretty accurate over long distance and good for headshots if you can land them. And so that's what I took in today. And I did the exfiltration strategem mission to, just on the normal mode, because heroic can be pretty hard, and I'm trying to get these videos out. And this is more of a almost like a blogging session when I start talking about my miniatures, which I do have some updates on. So jumping into this mission, I wasn't that far behind. It did take me a little bit of a second to figure out which direction they went, and it was just a game of catch up for me. I've seen this strategy before, like on heroics and not heroics, the higher difficulty settings. I forget the name of them. I think it was like lethal or something like that. And I know what they were doing. You can just rush to the elevator, avoid this whole section. You don't really have to fight here if you don't want to. And I just kind of got swarmed here. They were up there, and as you can see, the enemies are pretty much right on top of me, and so I just had to take care of these guys. I had the right idea here, I think, by turning invisible and trying to run past these guys. Unfortunately, they just acquired the target of the other 2 teammates, and they started running the same direction I was running. And it would have been nice if they dropped aggro and I could have ran past them, but I wasn't able to. So I ended up fighting these guys because I didn't want to be getting shot in the back over and over again. And I took this execute because I did lose an armor. And then there's a crowd of enemies that are coming in. And so I did my best to skip the riffraff here, and I didn't want to get chipped to death here and be dead in the water over in the middle of this desert. Dead in the water in the middle of the desert. If that makes sense. But I think you can get what I'm trying to say. Like, I didn't want to be in the down status way out here while my teammates are pretty much already waiting for me at the elevator. Now, so far I'm pretty happy with my gameplay. I've been maintaining my armor, and I've been getting a lot of the quick time events, and I was letting them know, like, hey, I'm on my way. I get the idea, so I was running straight to the objective point. And I did the For the Emperor shout, and even without audio, you could almost kind of feel the I got ignored feeling. And I was like, alright, so these guys aren't exactly I would say friendly players or engaged players. But I was getting the feeling too that they were also working together, because since they were both on the same page when it came to rushing to the elevator, I'm assuming maybe they were maybe in a Discord together or some kind of other kind of team chat. So yeah, I'm just killing enemies here and keeping up with the crowd. and using the stalker bolt rifle here. So wasn't really good with my shots there. I definitely mistimed those parries, but there was also just a distance thing. Maybe the elevation changed from the enemy being on the ramp. So yeah, you know, they're moving fast. There's nothing really going on here, so I was just trying to keep up. Move up, move up. If you go straight here, there is a Mechanicus guy, and sometimes there's the combat data right there. So I went to check that spot, wasn't there. And just kept moving forward. This knife is pretty powerful. I think it might have one of the highest damages when it comes to these combat knives. So I noticed it killed that Gaunt in 3 hits. Now you're gonna see here, I must have just been messing with their feng shui here. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but you know, maybe I really ticked off this guy by picking up this melta bomb. You'll see what's gonna happen here. And I was gonna go to the left and check to see if any of the holes happened, and you know, I thought, oh, maybe I had a bad connection. But luckily this game lets you know that you were kicked from the team, so you know, you get your answer there. And so we'll just get through this loading screen. And you know, that was a little disheartening. You know, I don't feel like I was playing bad or, you know, dragging the team down, but I guess they were just really ticked off that I pick up that melta bomb and ruin their pro gamer, you know, speedrun strat. So just jumping right back into the mission. Same one, same kit, same loadout. And you know, the Emperor must have been smiling down on me a little bit, or maybe wanted to kind of give me some grace. And so I loaded right back into the same spot in the next match. So awesome. And in this team we had a what do you call it, a heavy as well, except it was still a PC or computer AI companion there, and I believe they have infinite ammo. And maybe a player dropped out and it had the melta still, and so yeah, that guy was wrecking, even though it was a AI teammate. He was using that melta to great effect, clearing out enemies, and so for some reason he was following me a lot. So you know, that was pretty lucky for me. Now I grabbed this melta on the side here, and luckily one of the holes was on the side too. So just, you know, that was the last one, and we were already ready. Now you're gonna see that I did take a lot of chip damage from these guys, but overall I still played pretty well. I don't think I have any down statuses, and you'll see there are moments where I get overwhelmed. But let me take this opportunity to get over to the miniature blog that I've been doing here and show you that, you know, I did finish my second Blade Guard veteran, and he is done. Here's the two of these guys together, and you know, when you stack all your minis together, they look pretty cool. You know, it's pretty nice to see my 15 Tacticus Marines, you know, the 5 Hell Blasters and the 10 Intercessors, and then these two guys. So I'm pumped. You know, it's like I'm closing in on finishing my combat patrol, and I do have a Lionel Johnson figure that's hanging out. But he's about halfway done being put together. And I'm gonna go buy some of that green stuff because there's some gaps in the cape where the cape meets, and so I want to fill in those gaps and get a little bit more professional with my mini assemblies. But I have one more Hellblade Blade Guard veteran to go, and the Captain and Gravis armor, and I have the Codex supplement for the Dark Angels, and it turns out that that's Captain Zachariel. If you are paying attention to some of the lore, I guess there, that Combat Patrol actually has some, like a named character and a theme, and so that was pretty cool. Now I don't know if you have to play him as a Captain Zachariel or if that's just for the book, but just in case you're wondering, if you ever get the Combat Patrol box for Dark Angels, I guess that's technically a named character there. And so here's some pictures of like the kind of work in progress for that guy. He went by a lot faster. I finished him in a day. Well, technically 2 days. I got about halfway done on one night. But I purposely stopped at just doing the edge highlighting, and then the next day I did the tabard, the shield, the belt, and everything else that needs color, the gold on the knees and the halo and stuff. So I purposely did, on the first day, just the Seraphim Sepia and the edge highlighting, which took about 2 hours, and then the next day it took about 4 hours to do all the other colors. And for the tabard and the hood that came with this guy, this came from the upgrade sprues for the Blade Guard veterans, Dark Angel Blade Guard veterans. I used the dry brushing method to kind of create that natural, lighting effect that would happen on these cloths, but I did go back in and kind of fill in the deeper regions with the like a watered down Caliban green to lower what's the word, kind of create that shading effect, or that natural shading effect in the recesses of the cloth. So I'm pretty happy with this guy, and like I said, the two of them next to each other, I think they look amazing. I did have to touch up the mask here that you can see in this picture, but yeah, they're done, and I'm happy to report that I already have the third Blade Guard veteran mounted up, and the pictures that I have uploaded to my computer at this stage, they're the gray plastic, but since then I have done the primering, and I also sprayed the Shopti bone to the across the whole model. So I did challenge myself to get these all done, the captain included, by Tuesday. It is Sunday night going into Monday, so I might have bitten off more than I could chew, but to be fair to myself, I did lose a whole day. On Saturday we had a family get together at my place we hosted, so I did not get any painting done or any work done on my models, and I'm confident that I would have finished it that Saturday and been working on the captain today. There we go. Sometimes it's hard to get your thoughts out of. But yeah, so that's my progress so far. I'm gonna have this third Blade Guard veteran done on Monday the 24th. It's gonna be a long session, but I'll power through it to get the edge highlighting done, and then immediately jump into the colors for the tabard and the gold on the parts that are gold. And believe it or not, he's not that hard, because with the hood on the helmet, or for the head option, in the tabard, that it's covers a lot of space, so there's a lot of edge highlighting you do not have to do on the chest area and the helmet. So you save a lot of time that way, to be honest. So yeah, I'm glad to keep you guys updated on my minis. Can't wait to show you when they're all done. And then I'll have one long in-store session where I'm gonna do the technical paint and get the bases done and submit my minis for the drive that they have. So if you don't know, there is a challenge right here. I got it in front of me here. It's the New Year New Challenge, 1 million miniatures, and it seems that every store has a tracker of like how many minis that have been pledged and then how many minis a person has completed. And I'm going for the first prize of 25 minis. So I believe we have until March, and I still have a couple days. Now with my combat patrol done, I'll have 19 minis done, and since I bought the Hellblasters and the Intercessors separately, I would have 5 more. I would have 10 more Intercessors that I could paint up, and 5 more Hellblasters, or 10 more Hellblasters that I could paint up. Because I only did the first 5 from the original, the first 5 Hellblasters from the original box. So there's still 5 more from the kit, and then the 5 that came with the combat patrol. So I have plenty of minis to meet my 25 mini challenge. I'm not going to jump into the lion. I think he would take a little too long, whereas I think I could do maybe 3 at a time if I do like 3 Intercessors at a time, and maybe 2 Hellblasters at a time, and I could probably knock all those out in about a week. So I might just make it. Now if I've already lost my pledge, then dang it, I should have worked a little harder, a little faster. But yeah, so that's the end of my blogging section. Hope you enjoyed the minis that I'm working on. And getting back to the gameplay, it was pretty basic. Like I said, I'm happy that I didn't go down. Kind of feel like a little bit of a redemption arc for getting kicked out of that first group. I would have kind of felt the sting if I would have came in here and played like ass, and I was like, okay, no wonder they were justified in kicking me out. They could just feel the aura of failure on me. But no, coming into this game, we didn't end up getting a backfield with the heavy again. So we lost our AI teammate with the Melta, but the teammate that joined was doing great in my opinion. And look at the damage that got pumped out on this guy. Now I know that might be part of the stratagem because it was cycling between melee damage and range damage, doing more damage, back and forth. So that first couple engagements, now boom. Now if you didn't see, I was kind of in a bad predicament. I ducked instead of dodged, but I saw the 3 rings, and I could not get out of them in time. And so here, I was trying to wait till the last second to get that perfect dodge off, and ended up eating hits both times and lost all my health and lost all my armor. So didn't really finish as strong as I wanted to, but the boss is taking damage. He's taking a ton of damage. I noticed he was aimed at me, and I figured that was because the Stalker Bolt Rifle can hit pretty hard, and maybe I pulled aggro off on him. This time I did go away from the thunder attack, and I just knew it was game over from here. The damage we were pumping out is just so great. And yeah, that's mission complete. So I'm gonna let this roll out for a couple seconds, and I hope to catch you in the next one, and I will update you when I finish my 3rd Blade Guard veteran, and I can't wait to take a little glamour shot of all 3 of them together. Hope to catch you in the next one, and thank you for watching.